In this video, I'm going to share with you a leadership filter most leaders forget, because sometimes the hardest part of leadership isn't the work, it's the weight. Leaders carry a lot. They're responsible for people, performance, expectations, and change. And often, leaders carry more than what's actually theirs to carry. And sometimes, if we're honest, it can feel like it's all on you. But the hardest part of leadership pressure, it's not the work. It's taking responsibility for things that were never ours to carry in the first place. In a recent coaching conversation about navigating difficult times, a client shared a leadership filter she uses to stay grounded when things around her were not. It was simple, but powerful, and I'd love to share it with you. It's the Serenity Prayer applied to leadership. When you look at it through a leadership lens, it becomes a powerful filter. So let's press pause and read it together. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, some people hear that and they think of it as a religious statement, but I see it as something else. I see it as a leadership filter. The first line, the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That's emotional discipline, not resignation, clarity. The second line, the courage to change the things I can. That's ownership, action, and responsibility. And the third line, the wisdom to know the difference. That's discernment. And that's where most leadership pressure lives. Maybe it's a market condition you can't control. Maybe it's a decision from above that you don't agree with. Maybe it's someone on your team who simply isn't ready yet. Strong leaders, they don't struggle because they lack effort. They struggle when they blur the line between what they can influence and what they must accept. When my client reads this prayer, she says to me, it reminds her of a few important things. Not everything is hers to fix. Where her real influence begins and ends. To pause before reacting. To conserve energy for what she can truly influence. To lead with steadiness, not urgency. And it might help you too. It might remind you some problems are not yours to solve. Your energy? That's a leadership asset. Reaction is easy. Discernment is leadership. Influence is stronger than control. And clarity reduces unnecessary strain. For me as a coach, it's also a reminder. I can guide, I can challenge, but I can't do the work for someone else. My responsibility is clarity, not control. And that distinction matters. So here's something to think about this week. When something frustrates you, when something feels heavy, when you feel the pressure building, press pause and ask yourself one simple question. Is this mine to change or mine to accept? Because leadership becomes lighter the moment we stop carrying what was never ours to carry. And that brings us right back to the reminder. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Not just a prayer, a leadership filter. And if there's one line to remember this week, it's the last one. The wisdom to know the difference. If this video was helpful, or if you know someone who might appreciate the reminder, share it and pay it forward. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, enjoy.